running for reals. We are going to be doing Kirby and the Forgotten Land 80% by BombHappy. Take it away.
All right. Howdy, everybody. This is BombHappy. We are going to be doing some Kirby and the Forgotten Land 80%, and I will be co-commentating or commentating with Tornix. And so we're going to go ahead and start it off. We're going to get into this file right here. Don't mind the 100%. And right here, there's going to be two modes for Kirby. It's going to be Wild Mode, Spring Breeze Mode. We are going to be doing Spring Breeze Mode. And the reason why we do that is we get more HP, a little bit easier, and at the end of every single level, we don't get any coins. So it's less time wasted at each level. And so whenever you're ready, I'll go ahead and do the countdown. Oh, do we need to wait for the countdown?
Yeah, I totally forgot to even put a timer in the layout.
Oh, we forgot a timer.
Like the one thing you need in a speedrun, and I forgot it.
Don't worry, we're good.
All right, we can, yeah, just a couple technical difficulties, but it shouldn't be too bad to squeeze one in.
No, it's not. I think I did make a layout for this. I think, maybe. Did I? Oh gosh.
In the meantime, while we're waiting, another difference between Wild Mode and Spring Breeze Mode is, so Wild Mode is supposed to be the quote-unquote harder difficulty, while Spring Breeze Mode is the quote-unquote more casual difficulty. There are a few more enemies that spawn in Wild Mode, so we play in Spring Breeze Mode to also avoid needing to defeat more enemies along the way, because that takes extra time too.
Yep, and also another thing is we'll be seeing the movement mechanic that I'll be doing once we get in, but one of our abilities that we can use with no copy Kirby is being able to slide. And so in Spring Breeze Mode, unfortunately, there's a bigger homing radius for sliding into enemies, and so that is a little bit on the annoying side in comparison to Wild Mode, which the radius is a lot smaller. But Spring Breeze Mode will definitely save time as long as you don't mess up your slides, just because every single time you finish a level, it's always going to be like a I want to say like a 2 or 3 second loss every single time, because you get extra coins at the end of a level.
It's kind of funny because normally that auto-targeting system, it was designed to help players, like that was what they had in mind, and then it's completely the opposite in a speedrun.
Very true, honestly.
All right, we have a timer and we are ready to go.
Okay, and just give me one moment. All right, so we're going to be doing Spring Breeze Mode. And I will start the countdown whenever I am ready, and I'll let you know. Let's see. Okay. And we will start in 3, 2, 1, go. And so right here, we are Kirby and the gang, just chilling on Dreamland, but unfortunately, for some reason, we get sent into another world, another land, through a portal. And right now, Kirby is just trying to figure out why he's on this beach, why he's in this world, and we're just trying to see what's going on. And right here, you see that my main form of movement is going to be the slide hopping. Later on in the runs, we'll see a little bit more variety, but whenever we are copyless Kirby, we will be using the slide mechanic quite often. And if you saw that little cute boy right back there, that wasn't a Wolfie. That's going to be the first enemy that we will see that is new to the Kirby world. We will find out why they're here.
Yeah, Wolfies are so adorable. It's so sad that we have to fight them as enemies.
It's okay. We'll eventually get a bandana Wolfie, right?
Well, they are the new Waddle Dee in this game, right? In terms of being the generic enemy.
Generic enemy,
so maybe.
yes. Alright, and look at here. This is going to be the main gimmick of Kirby in the Forgotten Land right here, is mouthful mode. And we get to see our cute little boy with some nubs and some feet on this car. One of my favorite abilities, has great movement. It feels great to use this ability right here. Did a little trick right there. Went down a slope, which gives me some boost. And if I keep jumping properly, it actually maintains the boost quite for a while. All right. And here we are, our companion for the rest of this game, being captured by a bunch of Woofies, little cute boys, but we will have to kill them. And quick little arena right there, very easy. And we get to save Elflin, who is going to be our main companion. We don't know why he's here, but he's very friendly to us. And now we get to see Bandana D. Used for co-op, but since we are doing an any % run, I'll be playing by myself. Sorry, Torinix. And
that's unfortunate.
we will not be seeing Bandana D except for every single time we come back here.
I am really curious as to whether there are any points in an any % run that would be faster with 2-player mode at all.
I honestly want to say like bosses could be a lot faster with 2P, but we haven't really routed that in, have we?
Yeah, that's true. Now that you mentioned bosses, I am curious as to whether 2-player mode scales boss HP a little bit or not.
Ooh, that's actually a good point. I actually don't know.
But as you can see here, BombHappy is slide hopping, but being careful to walk around the enemies so that we don't auto-target into them, because it takes a lot of time, since when we hit an enemy, there's an animation where Kirby flips backwards after hitting an enemy, and we can't do anything until he lands again.
And we'll probably eventually see it at some point. We're expecting mistakes here, but always down to showcase Kirby in the Forgotten Land. It's my favorite game, actually my first speed game. And so...
Hey, wow, what a coincidence. Same here.
It is a great game to get into, especially for first-time runners.
Yeah. As both a speed game and a casual game, I personally highly recommend it, just because it feels very nice and it's not too unwelcome or inaccessible as a beginner run, because there are so many different ways to run any %. So you don't have to necessarily do all the fancy tricks that we will be showing today.
Alright. Just saw a little Wild Edge right there. Boss went down really fast. Poor Wild Edge is one of the easiest bosses to deal with in the speedrunning setting. A little bit annoying in the casual setting, but otherwise in the speed setting, very easy. And if you notice right there, we just saved our first Waddle Dee. So the main point of this game is to save as many Waddle Dees as you can. And in any % setting, we don't need to grab every single Waddle Dee. We just need to grab enough to unlock the next boss. And so in each world, there is a boss that is unlocked by having a minimum amount of Waddle Dees to grab. Alright, there we go. Went for the little turtle skip right there. So originally you're supposed to go around. Go ahead.
So yeah, normally for this part you're supposed to climb all the way around the top of this building, and then there will be a water pipe that you ride even higher, just like you did earlier in the stage. And from up there, that's how you get on top of that massive tortilding enemy. But what we did was something called Turtle Skip. And the reason why it's called Turtle Skip is because it's the third iteration or version of the skip to get on top of this tortilding. Each with increasing difficulty of trick performed too. The one that we BombHappy did just now was a frame perfect trick where we damage boosted off of the tortilding's head and then jumped again in midair off of nothing to get extra height.
Yep, there's a weird mechanic that we have in mouthful modes where if you grab a Waddle Dee or take damage, you end up getting a frame-perfect opportunity to jump. But anyways, we are getting into our first ability. It's going to be fire. Oh, the little bonk.
There we go. Our very first Spring Breeze target.
Yep, there we go. Spring Breeze moment right there. But as you can see right here, we are using fire. As you can see, it looks significantly faster comparison to just slide hopping, just because we are able to move horizontally in the air very fast, which is one of Kirby's biggest weaknesses. Alright, managed to get the cycle right there pretty cleanly. And then also one of my favorite movements right here. We're going to be going for a little optimization. Hopefully I get it. Yep, there you go. And then not an optimization. Always the classic.
I always joke about how in these fire segments I should keep a bonk counter because I habitually bonk into walls and enemies when I use fire.
Yeah, honestly, fire is one of the best abilities to use, but it does feel bad whenever you mess it up a few times.
For sure.
But right there, we actually just skipped a staircase right there. That was actually a mouthful mode opportunity. But since we don't want to go slow, we are able to skip it with fire. We actually were able to skip that whole entire spot right there with the cannons. Just because of Kirby's amazing horizontal movement with fire, we're able to just completely skip using staircase. And we got a poster at the end of that. And so a weird thing in this game is we're trying to save all the Waddle Dees we can, and there's objectives that we are able to grab. And so at the end of each level, they do show you what kind of objectives that are hidden throughout the level that allows you to unlock a Waddle Dee, which is weird. They're captured Waddle Dees, but all I'm doing is just grabbing a poster. So someone's just watching us out there and just saying, hey, you know what? Kirby's a nice fellow. He did that poster. We'll release a Waddle Dee for him.
It is really strange whenever anybody brings it up like that, and I've gotten to the point where I kind of headcanon it personally as more like there are some Waddle Dees that didn't necessarily get captured or they're like lost in the wild, and Kirby completing these objectives, he just sort of bumps into them on the way and saves them. That's how I like headcanoning that. That was a nice save there.
Yeah, that was a little bit sus, but it worked out. And another secret objective right there, completely on the way. We always want to grab Waddle Dees that are fast. Once we get into later the levels, we'll need more Waddle Dees, and so we will be grabbing some Waddle Dees that may appear slow, but they're actually relatively fast in comparison to a lot of other Waddle Dee options. Oh.
And if you'll notice, the bulk of the Waddle Dees that we're going to try to get are going to be the mission-based ones rather than the ones trapped in cages. Oh.
That's bad. So, unfortunately, there is a backup we have. There is a Waddle Dee that you get for not falling off the ledge, which I have completely messed up, but it's okay. We'll just grab this one on the way. Cute little Waddle Dee.
As I was saying, though, yes. We try to get as many mission-based Waddle Dees instead of cage Waddle Dees as we can because we can collect them on the way and that we completely skip the cage saving animation that you see every time we save a cage Waddle Dee, which really adds up over time.
Yeah, it does. And there is some objectives that are actually just not worth going for because they do take a lot of time to get to. But as long as the cage Waddle Dee is in the way or on the way in comparison to an objective that's out of the way, then of course we'll go for the cage Dee. But most of the time, we'll be trying to shoot for objective bounties as much as possible. Get a little groove song right here. Always appreciating the Kirby soundtrack in this game.
For real. I hear a lot of people joking about this track as being like the new Coconut Mall.
Yeah, it doesn't help that this place is a mall as well.
Yeah, right? But it is catchy.
Yes, and we'll get to listen to that song one more time after going with this invincible candy. As you can see, it is an objective as well. And fortunately, this is probably one of the best abilities to grab, just because invincible candy does give us a lot of speed, a lot of damage, and that's very important.
Yeah, this invincible candy is sort of a triple threat in this level in particular, because it gives us a speed boost to get here really quickly, gives us a bonus objective, and as you can see just now, lets us defeat the mini boss or mid boss in like 1 second flat.
Yeah, if you didn't notice, that was a Wild Frosty. If you are a longtime Kirby fan, it was usually called Mr. Frosty, but since we are in this new world that has the Wolfies, a lot of the theme of this world is gonna be post-apocalyptic humans as well as animals traits. So a wild animal or a wild edge. We'll be just seeing a lot of animal-based enemies. Or at least themes. Alright, locker D right here. And so I'm just spinning the control stick really fast. The game intends you to just press down, but I find it a lot easier to just spin the circle. And there we go. Alright, there you go. 17 Waddle Dees for the boss that we get to unlock. So I have the exact amount needed to unlock this next boss. And so it increases by 2 every single time until World 6, which is going to be the last world we'll be getting to. And so we'll be seeing more Waddle Dees as each level and each world that we get into. And I am going to go for the safety strat today, just because I do not want to do a strat that either saves me 12 seconds or loses me 20 seconds. So I'd rather just go for the safe strat here. It'll also showcase a really cool ability in this game. And we'll see it right here.
I think it's quickly becoming my favorite ability of the game.
Very hard movement tech right there. Takes a lot of effort to do. Basically sliding and then hopping and then doing the ice storm, which requires 2 fast B presses. And if you do it fast enough, you actually maintain a lot of momentum there.
So here we are coming up against the first world boss, Gorimondo of the Beast Pack. And if you take a close look, we are like rapidly freezing him with ice. There's this tech or strat that we can use where we hold shield and spam the frost breath attack in a specific rhythm, which will let us release ice particles even faster than normal and freeze enemies in half the amount of time needed. And just like that, we're done.
Yep, there it is. And if you haven't noticed as well, I was pointing my camera down. It's actually a very awkward thing to do, at least for my setup. But if you do angle the camera down, Gorimondo just uses so much of his body covered in ice that he ends up lagging the game. And so with the camera angled downwards, you're actually able to save a few frames there just by keeping it down the whole time. All right, so that is World 1 down. We are gonna go back to a place that all the Waddle Dees will be at. There you go, Waddle Dee Town. And you can see our little friends out here are hammering away, trying to rebuild Waddle Dee Town. The more Waddle Dees we save, the more buildings and resources we'll be getting. There's going to be some important buildings that we'll be needing, but most importantly, we'll be getting our first upgrade, which will allow us to do a lot of damage for our later bosses, and also is just slightly faster. Slightly.
Fun fact for anybody who didn't notice earlier on, Waddle Dee Town is actually situated right where we first saved Elfilin. All that rubble were the remains of the previous Waddle Dee Town that all the wild animals destroyed. So now the Waddle Dees are working together to rebuild it again.
Alright. And so this is a force tutorial right here. I'm not allowed to go back into the Warp Star to grab the World 2 levels, but because we are able to upgrade this ability, it actually works out for us, just because fire into Volcano Fire is very strong and slightly faster than the original fire, and so always good to have this in the first place. Alright, and so we'll be getting into World 2. We will be getting up to a skip pretty soon. And if you want to, you can go ahead and explain that, Tornix.
So in this first level of World 2, the second map involves a mini-boss, Wild Bonkers, I believe. And that boss takes a long time because even though Volcano Fire does a lot more damage, we still have to go through getting there, dealing all the damage, and waiting for the mini-boss to die. What we're doing here is jumping on this branch, jumping way high up, and hovering over an invisible wall to get us just barely out of bounds. And from there, we can swim around the lower edge of that big square arena where the mini-boss would be. And just like that, we've saved maybe 15-20 seconds, I believe.
Yep, we did skip quite a bit right there. If you didn't notice, at least for my route, I do something a little bit different. So routing in this game is very important with all the Waddle Dees that we grab. Typically, there is a animal sand sculpture that I could have grabbed with fire, but I actually opt to go for another one. I have no idea if it saves time nowadays, but it is still pretty fast.
I believe that both of the Waddle Dees that we're thinking of are pretty much on par with each other, maybe within like a second of difference. So it shouldn't matter very much until we're getting into, say, like the top runs, contending for world record and such. And speaking of routing in this game, that's something that I really appreciate because in this game in particular, there are so many different options that either aren't too much slower or aren't too much faster than other options that you really can build your own personal route the way you want to play the game. And it also makes starting off simple and building up to a more complicated, faster, optimal route relatively painless. You don't have to go out of your way to change massive parts of how you play.
Yeah, that's what's the greatest thing. Maybe just because this game is new, but because it is a new game, we're still routing out, trying to find optimal abilities to grab. And so there gets to a point where World 2 is the major diverging factor in how people run this game. A lot of people start off using fire. It is one of the more easier ability to use. But you'll get to see me do one of the more annoying abilities to use throughout the rest of this run. Or at least the majority of this run. Oh.
There, now we got this, the last seabird.
Yep, so we greeted some seabirds with some lava fire. It's a very courteous thing to do. They're just really cold from the water, you know? They need to warm up with some volcano fire.
That's how we say hi in the New World.
Alright, hopefully we make the cycle here. There
This
you go.
cycle is tough, and you got it so clean.
There you go. So I'm getting a weird ability here. Technically, it's slower than fire, but we will not be seeing this ability for a while, for long. And there you go.
Is now a good time for a quick donation?
Yes, go for it.
All right, so we have a $20 anonymous donation with no comment. Thank you so much, Anonymous. But we just want to let you guys know we have a bunch of incentives going on throughout this run. I'm actually making a lot of, making some adjustments to them because I realized I put them in very wrong in Tiltify. But so don't be alarmed when things are switching around as you guys take a look at it. But at the end of this run, we have, if you guys donate enough money, we have BombHappy will show off the all HAL rooms, I think. I don't know if that's actually how you say it or not, but we're going to go with it. So you guys are going to want to get your donations in for that, as well as we have a bid war for Overcooked 2, our very next run, to which character that will be used. So you have a lot of time to get your donations in for that. Let me double check what your options are. So for Overcooked, you can see the options that you have are Ghost, Shark, Dragon, Raccoon, and Crocodile. And currently, there isn't a single one in the lead. So you could donate $1 towards your favorite character, and now you've got one in the lead. And you can see which one of these 5 are your absolute favorite character that you want to see grab all stars in Overcooked 2. Believe it or not, that run's actually insane. So you want to get donations in to see your favorite character. Plus, it's a decently long run, so get your donations in for that. Thank you guys so much for all your support so far, and you can take it away.
All right, thank you. And so, right now, we did skip and throw away our drill away, but we now have a new ability, Tornado. In OG Kirby games, Tornado is kind of a hassle to use. It's very hard to control. Still very similar in this game as well, but we'll actually be using this quite often in our run. The crazy part is, Tornado is a really terrible ability for damage. But fortunately, in this game, Copulous Kirby is actually very strong. I want to say that this is probably one of the games that just make Copulous Kirby a very viable in comparison to other Kirby games.
So I wanted to point out, as a personal thing, when you were fighting Florina earlier, the bird mini boss, I feel like I was a little out of the loop. I didn't realize that you could just save or like drop your ability up there and just spit both of your old abilities to take out the second phase so quickly.
Yeah, I want to say that was found out, I want to say a week and a half or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Maybe even 2.5 weeks. I don't know. Somewhere in the past month. But it is a cool little optimization there that did save me about 1 second in comparison to the original Florina fight. Just because we get to murder the phase 2 immediately.
Yeah, because normally the alternate method would be just refreezing Florina for the second phase, which does still take some time, even though it does big damage.
Yeah, and also, because it takes a little bit of time to drop our ability after beating Florina, the fact that we're able to just spit both of our abilities at Florina is just a faster method in general. It does take a little bit of setup time, just because you have to climb the ladder and grab the trophy, but it does overall save time. Alright. And so I have Tornado, so this is actually a diverging part in the run for some people. Most people start doing Tornado nowadays, but Fire is still used right where I'm at right now. For first time runners, I definitely recommend just sticking to Fire. Tornado is a hassle to learn, when you're a first-time runner, and it's perfectly alright to go for a first one with Volcano Fire. And up here, we're going to be getting an objective bounty that is relatively hard using Tornado, and so hopefully I can do this well.
Great, nice first wave. Okay. So the objective that we get from this arena is to complete it without touching the water.
Not the most perfect, but it was still relatively fast. Still pretty good. I almost touched the water a few times, but it worked out.
Yeah. It's still a lot faster than if you were to drop Tornado and use copyless Kirby to defeat the enemies, so not a lot of time lost at all. As you can see there, the other good thing about Tornado over Fire is you maintain height when you travel across large distances, whereas Fire constantly goes downwards a little bit.
Yep, and we'll get to see that very soon in the next world on how amazing Tornado can be in comparison to Fire. There we go. But Fire is still very viable. I want to say that you really don't lose that much time sticking with Fire in comparison to Tornado in some areas. So if you're just starting off, getting some PBs, peanut butters out there, it's perfectly fine. Alright. And so if you notice right there, I picked up a tin can of fish right there. And I didn't complete the objective bounty. And so the reason why I did that is at the very end of the level, if you don't find every single objective bounty in some sort of fashion, you end up losing probably like half a second, a few seconds for the objective to tell you that you missed something. And that allows me to save just like a second or two at the end of the level, just because it doesn't want to say anything to me. So very small optimization to be able to save myself that second.
And here we are approaching boss number 2, where again there are diverging strategies depending on whether you use Tornado or Volcano Fire. Though I guess in recent times the strats for both have been a little bit more similar.
And we'll actually get to see the first moment of seeing how strong Copulous Kirby is right here.
Yeah, because even though we're bringing Tornado into this fight, we're actually dropping it and using copyless Kirby to spit stars instead, because as you can see, they deal a lot of damage. There we go.
There we go, nice and fast. So Tornado, infamously known to have a terrible damage output, but Copyless Kirby just does it for me. And we're able to juggle it and maintain Tornado the whole entire time.
You're gonna see that again in subsequent worlds, because Tornado is such a good movement ability that we want to hold on to it at like almost all costs. But it sucks at bosses, so we're just gonna leave it on the sidelines and kind of just keep it alive while we spit stars.
And so we just finished World 2. We're going to be going back into Waddle Dee Town. There's just going to be a very minor cutscene, so if you do want to shout out some more about Real Hope, keep going for it.
Hello, yes. I just want to let you guys know that Real Hope Project is a organization that creates videos to help kids in the foster care system be able to find a forever family. This is something that is a incredible organization to be able to support because they take kids who seem like they have no hope in their life and be able to give them something that they all crave, which is to be loved and to be cared for and to be seen, which we all want no matter who we are. And so please do, guys, get your donations in. Every single donation makes a huge difference to kids' lives. As we talked about in the presentation earlier this morning, just $1 helps one kid, helps 4 families see a kid. And that is 4 chances for a kid to be able to be adopted and to find a family. So please get your donations in. It would make a huge difference for these kids. And yeah, plus when you donate, there is an opportunity to see more of the marathon, which we all want to see. So currently right now we don't have any new donations coming in, but we are still getting some more. We're just getting our incentives figured out here. Also, too, just wanting to let you guys know, we're opening up some incentives for tomorrow's runs. Specifically, one of our first runs tomorrow morning is Titanfall 2, any percent by Forte. There is an incentive to be able to upgrade it to all helmets, which is a super, super cool category. Titanfall 2 alone is one of the best speed games out there. It has high octane movement. If you watched any sort of source speed run like Half-Life, it's very similar to that in the strafe jumping and stuff, and just using the already momentum-based game and taking it even faster than you would expect. Plus, if you upgrade the run to all helmets, you get to see more of it. So get your donations in for that. We have, again, Overcooked 2, All-Stars, Character Choice, Bid War coming up here. Again, no donations have come in for that, so if you want to see any character of your choice between these 5 options, which are the ghost, the shark, the dragon, the raccoon, and the crocodile, you can get your donations in for those. Just $1 puts your character up and in the lead. Plus, that dollar also, again, helps a kid be exposed to 4 families and give them 4 chances to be adopted. So please get your donations in, and yeah, let's get as much of this marathon unlocked as possible. At the end of tonight as well, there is a incentive, there is a bonus run for Casper's Scare School. It is a absolutely ridiculous bonus run, but we can get that run met pretty easily, so please get your donations in for that. We have $20 met so far, and you have the entire day to be able to get your donations in to see a super ridiculous run of Casper's Scare School. So please get your donations in and continue to support this incredible marathon, incredible organization, plus all of these incredible runners that are here and commentators for this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as you can see, we've already been zooming, absolutely zooming past World 3 because Tornado is just that amazing at movement.
Yeah, and if you notice in that past world that I was in, I actually skipped a whole entire section of using Water Balloon Kirby until the very end, which was pretty awesome. That's weird. Not very awkward one right there. Not a very optimal fight, but it's okay. We'll make it work.
So again, part of the struggle in terms of the way quality of life things have been implemented in the game is that Kirby will prioritize sucking in copy ability items rather than stars if they're in range of his inhale. So we don't want to do that when we're juggling Tornado with bosses, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's always very important to position your tornado or ability drops in the right spot. I unfortunately put it in the wrong spot. I usually typically put it off the map so it's not possible for me to inhale it, but we still made it work. Ooh, 36. That's beautiful right there.
I need to figure out what I'm doing differently from you in these races, because you're like consistently half a second to a full second in the race faster than me.
Oh, yeah, just yesterday I hit a 35.8, which is very hard to pull off, by the way. So if you noticed at the very end of that race, right before you deal with all that mud and all those robots, there is a slope that you can go down. And so I was consistently, I got 37.5 for the longest. But then Cog, shoutouts to Cog, told me about that slope. And so whenever you use that slope, Kirby actually gets a speed boost right there. And whenever you jump after you're off that slope, it still maintains that speed for a good bit. And so that just gives me like an extra second ahead of what I usually get. It's pretty amazing. Oh.
Can't tell whether this stage or the next stage in this world best showcases just how fluid and amazing Tornado's movement is.
Oh, Tornado feels amazing in this area. I'm not gonna lie. When you do it right, it feels very good. So this dark section right here, we're supposed to be using Light Bulb D to kind of traverse the area. But since we're a speedrunner, we know where everything is. So we just get to skip everything right here. And if you notice, I didn't just cut across the whole entire map. And the reason why is because this game has a lot of invisible walls. And so we end up having to traverse the area just like how I was doing right there.
Yeah, the developer has put a lot of things into... Oh, okay.
Nope, you're good now.
The developers of the game tried really hard to make sure that we would not be able to just cheese levels easily.
And speaking of cheesing, we are going to be seeing a lot of cheese still, because speedrunners love to break the game. And right here, originally we're supposed to get blocked by these aliens forever, but since Tornado Kirby just gets to skip that all, we don't have to worry about it.
Tornado Kirby also straight up skipped one of the very first set of aliens as well in that first room. Just flew right past them before they even popped out.
Alright, usually a scary Waddle Dee, but with practice, this is actually a very easy one and on the way to get. Oh, not positioned properly there, that's fine. Alright, so we're getting into 3-4. Cool thing about this area is that it does transition into a dark world now. So we've been seeing a lot of happiness, some spoopy aliens here and there, but now we're gonna get into nighttime, which I think is really cool. And if for any person who has ever played Nier Automata, or Automata, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but that game had a very beautiful scene, and I got some chills just kind of being reminded of that scene in this area right here.
Flip the switch and let the show begin.
Beautiful right there. Looks like we managed to skip that cycle. It's a pretty tight cycle to deal with, but managed to get it through. Oh, not go. That's fine. Just have to wait a little bit behind the cycle. Not a big deal. And here's going to be a cool showcase of Tornado being amazing at skipping everything.
So normally, when you use Tornado in the air, you can only fly once at its full speed and distance. Any subsequent flights will get shorter and slower and shorter and slower until you just don't go anywhere. But if you use Tornado while on the ground to begin with, you get one extra full-length tornado in midair. And that's what we did right there in the middle of that room to just bypass the entire room, essentially.
Yep. And that was actually a pretty annoying level because there is an objective that I need to grab, which requires me to not touch Tornado mud at all. If I were to touch any mud during this level, I would actually have to reset or find a backup Waddle Dee. But because Tornado is really awesome at not touching the ground, we don't have to worry about that objective at all. Oop, there we go. And there's the objective right there.
I really love this soft nighttime carnival lighting on Kirby and everyone.
It's a shame we only get to see it for one level.
Just go back in there, BombHappy.
True. Hey, if we do get enough donations for the HAL Laboratory at the end of this run, definitely can go back into that level one more time just to show off that lighting. And also for the special HAL Laboratory showcase. So always be down, always support the event. It's a great event.
Mm-hmm.
All right, third boss right here. Cool little entrance right there. You can see the boss at the very middle right there. And unfortunately, I might have some bad RNG or some bad patterns because of how I move in this fight. But hopefully we get some good patterns here.
Yeah, so the boss we're coming up against is Clawreline of the Beast Pattern. And there's a little bit of RNG involved in terms of how many times she swipes at you, either 2 or 3, as well as whether she jumps away and dives at you or not. And we want the triple swipe attacks mostly, because that gives us the most stars in the least amount of time.
Nice. That first phase, not that great. I did mess up the very beginning. If I spaced myself properly, Clawreline would be dead a lot faster, but fortunately, still a fast fight either way. And we still have Tornado juggling right here. There we go. And we'll be bringing Tornado once again into World 4.
So a little bit tricky here is what we want to do and try to do, but can't always do because the stage is confusing sometimes, is drop Tornado right where Kirby would spawn after beating the boss. So we can just pick it up and beeline towards the end goal. But if we have any donations or anything else to talk about for running for reals, now would be a good time because this is probably one of the longest breaks we have between levels now.
All right, our little boy Meta Knight over here, protecting the Coliseum. He wants us to fight him, but we're just gonna go into World 4, so we're not gonna see him ever again. But we get into World 4, which is gonna be my favorite world, for various reasons, and a very obvious reason to Tornix.
I wonder why. Honestly, World 4 is also my favorite world. If not just for the theme, because the music and like the snow theme of the world just fits me to a T, honestly.
And I do love the music too. It's very pleasant. At first, a lot of the Kirby games, or a lot of this game, I actually found the music slightly disappointing, but I realized how the theme of it felt very, what's the word I'm looking for? Just very environmental. I just really love how I just feel very comfortable in the environment. It's just very ambient music. There's the word, ambient music. And Ice, they did a really great job doing the ice snow theme right here.
Here's one of the trickier cycles that we have to make in the game, otherwise we lose out on some time. Looks like we got it though.
Oh, awkward. That's fine. Alright. Another showcase of wanting to use Stair, but Stair is very slow to use, so we're just going to completely ignore it. Grab this ladder with Tornado's amazing horizontal movement.
And rinse and repeat.
Alright, there you go. And here's going to be another showcase of Tornado being amazing. Originally, you're supposed to go to the Waddle Dee level at the end of this level, but because Tornado just has that great movement right there, we're able to just grab that little objective and then grab the 3 Waddle Dees right there.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right. We have a $750 donation from Maddie Inc. that says, "Here's to getting the marathon started off on a good foot. Let's make it a good one, y'all. Thank you so much. This run went to this incentive, wow, holy cow, words. This donation went to the Casper's Scare School bonus run, as well as the upgrading to Titanfall 2 all helmets. So thank you so much for that donation, and I just want to let you guys know, yes, we have a hefty donation goal, but again, we are wanting to make a huge difference for these kids. So that's why we have our donation goal at $10,000 for the very first marathon. So thank you so much for this donation. I think that meets that incentive, actually, to upgrade that run to all helmets. And if I'm looking at it right, yes, it does. So that's awesome. So we already have met our first incentive of the run. So yeah, thank you guys so much again for that donation, and keep it up.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. Hey, you know, even though it's a big one, that will just get it started. And then, you know, if every person just donates like $1, you know, it all adds up. It always adds up.
So, just in the room before, BombHappy had an arena that ended with a bunch of Mookies, which are the monkeys with hammers. And you'll notice that he drops Tornado briefly to pick up Hammer, but then immediately lets it go again. That's because we will need Hammer to be unlocked for a later stage, and this is one of the fastest along the way kind of ways to unlock it, since unlocking the ability means we have obtained it before, and that's all there is to it. And you'll see in just a couple short levels that hammer is also quite broken in this game.
Yep, so we're going to be seeing a very huge showcase of a lot of things broken in this game once we get to that spot. It's really amazing. I'm glad I found the trick. Also, shout outs to Cog for improving the trick as well. And yeah, we'll see it very soon. So actually, it looks like we're making some good time here. So once we get into World 5 and World 6, I'll start implementing some swag strats. So these swag strats, not optimal whatsoever. If you see this, do not do it for the sake of time. Do it for the sake of having fun. And we'll get to see that once we beat World 4. We're actually going to go to our first little clip here. So we haven't seen any clipping shenanigans, so hopefully I can pull it off right here. Oh, so sad. That's fine. Usually I am able to clip above there, but that is fine. We don't have to worry too much about that time loss.
Question for everybody in chat. We've seen a bunch of the new mouthful modes already in this. What is your favorite mouthful mode from the game? There's still some that we haven't seen yet, but just out of all the ones that you know of, off the top of your head, there's Kirby, there's the storage locker. If you've seen the trailer, you've also seen that there's a vending machine, there's the ring nut that we just used. Any of them at all. What's your favorite?
And at least for me, my favorite is definitely Water Balloon Kirby for aesthetics. I just love when Kirby's a big boy. So if I ever have fat Kirbys, please give it to me. I actually collect a lot of Kirby plushies, and a lot of times when they're fat Kirbys, I love it so much.
That actually gives me an idea. What if they made just actual pink Kirby designed water balloons that you could fill up?
Oh! Why do you do this to me?
Like actual water balloons. It would be so fun in the summer.
Yeah, I just totally want that now. Chonky. Yes, we want chonky Kirbys. All right.
All right. I think I'll give you the...
No, you can have the spotlight for this one. Yep. We'll wait until after the trick, actually.
Yeah. This trick is probably BombHappy's most favorite trick in the game. And it showcases just how broken Hammer and Tornado are, but in tandem.
It's okay, we have a backup strat.
Yes, there is a backup here. As you can see though, what happened was we bounced way high up using Hammer, and the reason for that is still a little bit unclear, but the main working theory we have is to do with Kirby getting tired and the weird momentum that happens with Kirby getting tired. So as you can see, we're floating, getting tired, bouncing way high up, and then from up top, we use another exploit or quirk in this game where Kirby can actually inhale anything that's in front and below him while he's in the air. Like, no matter how far down the item is. So we can bounce way high up and grab the tornado item from like 1,000 feet into the air.
Yeah, so I did mess that up on the first try, but this level itself is actually meant to be a boss gauntlet. So you already saw me do Wild Edge. We were supposed to be fighting a Florina, a Bonkers, and 2 Wild Frosties at the very end. But fortunately, because of the jank that I just did right there, we were able to just skip that whole entire level. And at least with that strat alone, it saves about 20 to 30 seconds overall in comparison to other routes. It hasn't been timed in a while just because this one has been the overall best one. But Tornix, as I said, has already described the vertical inhale, the hammer super jump, and there was also the mix. So previously they were talking about 4-2, the arena where I ended up grabbing that hammer. And so I was able to get a pool of abilities that are in a certain order every single time. Depending on what abilities you inhale throughout that run, you're able to manipulate how your roulette will work in the mix, and that allowed me to get a really easy hammer. But now, we are up to King DDD. We're going to be doing a pretty hard strat here. Typically, a lot of people do Volcano Fire here, but I'm a little bit crazy. Dark Rylou is also a little bit crazy. Shout out to Dark Rylou for spearheading tornado movement.
Oh, nice 4-star. So, like we said before, the number of, or Kirby's copyless star spit is very, very powerful, and it scales based on the number of objects that are inhaled. Up to 4. 4 does an incredible amount of damage, as you can see.
That was a perfect fight. That was actually a perfect
That
fight.
was so clean. He also got a really funky DDD pose there that I really liked.
Yeah, if you ever beat up King DD during the pillar attack, he does make a lot of funky faces. I think Shasta has an emote for the funny face DDD.
The one where he squints?
Yeah, he's like... Alright, there you go.
But look, he's still alive.
Oh no! So Elflin is gone from our party. He got kidnapped by King DD, so now we're gonna try and go save him. Because we're in such a hurry, we're actually not gonna go back to Waddle Town. It will immediately transport us to World 5, and so we're here. And World 5 is gonna be the last area before we get into World 6, and there's gonna be a lot of Waddle Dees that I'll be grabbing. A lot of these Waddle Dees are relatively slow, but it's the fastest we have. It's the fastest options we have. Alright. Ooh, got a lot squishy there.
That was a very close call.
Yeah, almost lost my ability there.
Yeah, the purple puddles are toxic poison puddles. And the moment Kirby touches one of those, he instantly drops his ability, no matter what. And if an ability item touches the poison puddle, after falling down from floating in the air, it gets destroyed immediately too. So, World 5 is kind of really risky business if we don't tread carefully around the poison puddles.
And with that objective building that I just grabbed, it was a Lost Squishy. And Lost Squishy is a squid. And there is a popular Japanese food item that is fried squid balls that are called takoyaki, or octopus balls as well. And there's 2 takoyakis right next to Squishy, which I feel really bad about. He probably was just chilling by himself, all lonely, while his 2 friends are just delicious food.
All right, just one quick announcement here, guys. We have a anonymous matching donation for $600. I've received a message that we have a donor that will match dollar for up to $600. So if you donate $1, that becomes $2, up to $600. So if we reach this dollar for dollar donation, we will get up to $1,200. So please, guys, get your donations in. Literally $1 will help with this. So get your donations in right now.
Let's go. This is basically like Jeopardy, the daily double.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, that was the Snacker, one of the most annoying enemies to face off against in a speedrun like this, because they're large, they're annoying to get around and defeat, and they take up a lot of your time if they gobble you up.
Also managed to just see one of the most broken abilities in the game. We just slept at a pool, and we got a Waddle Dee for that. So whoever is watching us, they just really like us sleeping near a pool.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's not even a joke though. Sleep is a very helpful or useful ability in this game in general. Like in casual runs, it heals you a lot. The upgraded deep sleep version of the ability can give you attack and speed boosts or even extra health.
Swag strat alert.
Alright, here we go. We see Drill again.
Alright, making use of another vertical inhale right there. That is not an optimal strat. It takes about 2 seconds to do that, but it does look cool, and that's all that matters.
It also did show off another quirk of how Kirby's movement works in this game. Because normally in this game, Kirby has a ceiling set on how high he can hover or float based on the ground he starts on. But since we started off at a higher piece of ground and never landed below us, we can hover freely all the way back up after grabbing Tornado.
Yep, and so for longtime Kirby fans, everyone knows if you're playing one of the 2D Kirby games, Kirby can float infinitely until the ceiling of the game. But in this game, there is higher ceilings, but it's all based off where Kirby is originally landing at. And so because of that, we can't just cheese some areas with some skips, just because this game is three-dimensional. But there's still other ways we can cheese it as speedrunners that we are. And we always try and find ways to work around it.
Where there's a will, there's a way, right? You know what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely a strong will in speedrunning.
Yes, there is. Being able to just find strats was like the most satisfying thing for me. Like going back to that 4-4 bridge boss Gantlet skit, I was like so happy. Dark Railu was a tornado gamer, and I wanted to do some tornado gaming stuff, and it was just amazing to just discover strats, and seeing everyone optimize strats, find different strats to do. Like, it's just a cool thing to just see all the communities come together for their own respective games to optimize it. Oh, did not grab the ice cream cone. Speaking of ice cream cones, what is your favorite ice cream cone? I feel like I always change my answer every single time. But I'm going back to birthday cake.
Yeah. Ooh, birthday cake. That's a fancy choice. I like it. Mine is usually mint chocolate chip. It's not everybody's first choice, but I quite like it.
Mint chocolate chip, I do like that one. I actually just like the mint ice cream in general. I feel like the chocolate chips are just too hard for me, but a lot of times I just love the flavors of mint.
For me, I think it really depends on which brand, because the large chocolate chunks are not really for me, but if it's like the really thin little old chocolate thins or something, that's really nice in mint chocolate chip.
Chocolate almond chip with real chocolate sprinkles. You know, nuts and
Nutty chocolate crunch.
oh, nuts and ice cream are so good. As a kid, I loved Rocky Road. Rocky Road was my favorite. Loved the marshmallows. Loved the almonds. Walnuts are pretty bomb too. I'm not gonna lie.
Something that I think I don't hear mentioned enough that I would like to give some love to are pistachios in ice cream, or just pistachios.
Pistachio, even the nuts themselves are delicious. I remember one of my friends, or my aunt, she made a pistachio sponge cake, and on top was a pistachio cream, and I just loved it so much. It's so delicious every time I eat it. Oh no, we have a pistachio hater alert.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right, coming up is stage 5-4, which has later on one of the most popular or most widely loved tracks in this game. Not that the other tracks are bad. Literally, I don't think there's any bad music track in this game. It's such a wonderful soundtrack.
Yep, and we'll be seeing it very soon. Right here, we're gonna actually be grabbing a Waddle Dee that is very difficult to grab. Would not recommend it for first-time runners, but definitely is gonna be the fastest option in comparison to another Waddle Dee that we usually grab. But hopefully this goes well. And it does not go well. That's fine. We'll just go for a backup here.
And the backup is just doing it the normal way up, basically.
Yep. And that's fine. Alright, just barely skip that girder right there. And we're coming up to the beloved song. So any of the emotes out there that got the jam emotes, cat jams, all the jamming emotes, just shoot for it, because this song's a banger.
All the jams. I guess Nightbot doesn't like my jam emotes.
Oh no, no more jamsies. It's okay, we get to listen to the song a little bit longer because I am going for another swag strat. This does not save time once again, but we will get to see it. There you go, I'm out of bounds. And so, right here, we're not supposed to be here, but we're just gonna keep flying. We're gonna keep gliding.
And if you notice, BombHappy is purposely driving himself into the top of those mountains in order to bounce off and get a slight boost, which makes up a little bit for the time lost as well.
Yep. So I'm optimally doing the unoptimal right now. Unfortunately, I can't do this anymore because the walls on the left and right are actually impossible for me to get past. So we're just gonna go back to the ground and do some more bouncies. All right.
This is more a reminder for myself than for you, but don't forget the cactus.
Yeah, missing the cactus here would be really bad. That is the last Waddle Dee that I need for Silly Dillo. And we did get it, so hopefully I should be able to get the next area. I did just spoil the name, but we do get to see our next boss.
He is quite a silly fellow, and we all love him.
Yep. And also, If you did notice, I did grab some posters here and there. There is some posters of Elfilin and Kirby that have been sporadically around the map in each world, and we get to see who the creator of this is. Alright, gonna just take a minor stop right here. So look at that. All the little beautiful pictures of the bosses, pictures of Kirby, wanted posters. And here he is.
Our little, or not so little, desert dweller might be a little eccentric, but he's quite the artist.
Yes.
He made all those posters, he even made homemade puppets. Look at this.
Might be creepy for some, but he is just a silly boy.
I mean, he has nothing to reference, considering he's all alone in the desert, so I'd say this is quite nice art, all things considered.
Considering, yeah, I agree. And we do get to see his work of art, his masterpiece, right up very soon. And his best friend.
What should we name his dance partner? Any suggestions, chat?
It's gonna be this right here. I fear no, and
Ooh, that was on the same frame.
taking damage. You know, that actually reminds me of King DDD. Whenever he does his pillar attack, he goes for the bonk, right? And so I used to do the volcano fire route, and I killed on the same frame that he bonked my head. And I was like, wow, cool DDD, thanks, man. I appreciate it. All right, and so I'm gonna be looking at the Waddle Dee count right now once we get back into town, because I do need a certain amount to open up a shop that will be very important for the rest of the run. So I am looking for at least 127 Waddle Dees at the very top, so hopefully I have enough. If not, I might have to grab an early Waddle Dee again. 129, that is perfect. And then we're gonna go for another swag strat here. It actually doesn't lose that much time, but it is cool, and also sets it up perfectly for one of the objectives in this world. So we'll go for it.
Ah, the infinite flutter.
Yep, there you go. Oh, and there you go. So one of the objectives in this world is going to be hitting these tower wolfies. They are on the lookout, and just look at that perfect setup. It does not save time because of how much time I was floating there, but it was cool.
So a small explanation on how that works is, remember when I explained previously how the game has different ceilings for how high Kirby can hover based on where he last touched ground? Well, he does not, when he starts the level on a star, he hasn't actually touched the ground yet, so his maximum height is set way, way, way high up in the sky.
Nice cycle right there. And if we haven't noticed yet, I am in World 6, a lot of volcano, a lot of fire, and this is going to be a lot more difficult from here on out. One of the tragic parts about this speedrun is that the last world is the hardest world because there's going to be several tricks that I have to be pulling in succession in order to be getting good times. But we'll also be trying to pull off some swag strats in the middle of it as well. And we'll see. We'll see them. Hopefully I don't lose too much time.
Especially towards the end, there's like, let me count off the top of my head, like 3-4 frame perfect inputs for the tricks too.
Yep. It is very frustrating to do, especially when you're on like peanut butter pace and you're just not getting it. Just because you do so well in the first World 5, 1 through 5, and then you get into World 6 and you just start butchering it. It's very hard whenever you're trying to get like those really optimal times, but early on, you know, you can get so many PBs just for pulling off one trick. And so we're going to be coming up to another swag strat. This does not save time, but it will showcase more of the jank of this game.
BombHappy always needs to put that disclaimer out there. Do this only to flex.
Oh, unfortunately, did not pull it off. We'll try one more time. And if not, we'll just have to go for the OG strat. And is that high enough? I want to say good enough. Not ideal, but we were able to skip climbing the tower just a little bit. Does not save time again. And we're gonna grab Crash right here. We're gonna showcase another vertical inhale. Alright, there you go. Little swaggy with then vertical inhale and hammer super jump shenanigans once again. Overall, if I did do that properly, it's like a 2-second loss, and every single time you mess up an HSJ or hammer super jump, it does lose you a fair amount of time. Alright, and then another swag strat once again. We are going to skip another mouthful mode. We don't want to do this mouthful mode just because it is a nice little cruise, but this looks a lot more epic.
Seen this swag strat in quite a while, and I was the one actually working on this one with you, right? If I remember.
Yeah. Because first time we tried doing this, it looked like it was impossible, but we managed to make use of some floating and height glitches or mechanics in this game, and as you can see, that was very close, but we're able to go across that expanse of a mega lava pool with just fire dashing, instead of using that boat right below us. In which case, I'm actually very impressed that that boat can survive lava.
Yeah, honestly, I was commenting about that in a previous run I did, and you know what chat told me? The chat told me if this universe has the technology to travel between dimensions, then they can have lava-proof boats.
You know what? That's true. That's true. I can agree with that. I want a lava-proof boat for no reason. And you know what? The rings too. The ring on the boat is also pretty lava-proof or heat-proof too. It has a high melting point.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget Kirby is also lava-proof apparently, or like does not melt.
Does not melt. Does not freeze. Doesn't get affected by the elements. He becomes the elements. Right, making use of the huge, humongous fire dash hitbox to hit that box right below me. Originally, you're supposed to open it with the button switch, but we get to just skip that.
Here we very, very briefly peek into the control room to get another bonus mission.
went too fast.
Get to the bonk counter.
I wonder how many bonks I've had. I feel like I did 10 maybe.
Oh. That was like 2 more.
Whoops, I guess that's 11 now.
As you can see, normally we have to run around those boxes that are blocking our way in order to escape before the spike wall crushes us. But with fire, it's a breeze.
Alright, we're able to skip the auto-scroller right here by just taking a little bit of damage from lava. Fortunately, it doesn't force our ability to drop, so we end up just skipping it altogether. And maybe I can do the optimal bonk right here. Nope, no optimal bonk today, but that's okay. Woohoo! Okay. And this is going to be a weird part. This section is going to be relatively slow, so if we have any more donations or just shout-outs to Real Hopes, we can always go for that again.
Alright, we have no new donations at this point in time, guys, but I do want to remind you guys that we still do have that $600 dollar for dollar donation matching. So get your donations in for that, and we can add up to $1,200 to the Real Hope Project. And yes, getting a $1 donation in does add this. And to incentivize for you guys, we only have a little bit left in this run, but coming up next we have Overcooked 2 All-Stars, where we have a character bid war. And currently, again, nobody has donated for that. So get your donations in for the Overcooked 2 All-Stars bid war. You can change which character. I realized I didn't have it active, so that's totally on me, but it is active now. But you can donate for Ghost, Shark, Dragon, Raccoon, or Crocodile. And again, if you donate for this, that still gets matched by the donation dollar for dollar incentive that we have here. So $1 for your favorite character may just become even more by the wonderful anonymous donation. There's not much time left in this run for that to happen, so please get your donations in right now. And then also too, coming up after Overcooked 2, we have it's going to be a nice long run, so you'll have a good time to really enjoy lots of food, get yourself nice and hungry right around lunchtime. We have A Bug's Life Any Percent coming up by Thermal Square, and then after that we have Sunshine 64 16 Star. So this is going to be an incredible marathon. The runs already are awesome. And then after that run, we have WarioWare Get It Together, New Game Plus All, No Boss Deaths. And one thing to note is with that, we have an incentive for a bonus run for all bonus stages. So get your donations, get your donations in for that to get even more, or not all bonus areas, all practice areas. That's what it is. But get your donations in for that as well, because there's a lot of really awesome ways that you can keep this marathon going even longer. So get your donations in and keep supporting the Real Hope Project.
Yeah, awesome. And right here, going back into it, I did go back to town to do a really slow thing, which is me getting a bunch of boosts, which is very weird, right? But the reason why we get these boosts is because it overall saves us so much time in the last lap of this game. Getting power boost, we get to see Goemon do one time. He does have nerfed HP, but we are able to one-shot him in all one go right there. And fortunately, speed boost also affects Kirby, so throughout this whole entire run, we're not going to be seeing a lot of fire or tornado anymore, and so we really need the speed boost to make Kirby relevant with the little cute speed boost right there. And another skip right there.
Yeah, the attack boosts are really, really important because this is end game now. This is the very end of the run, and we have, in this stage in particular, a gauntlet of bosses to fight, as well as towards the final boss, another gauntlet of bosses to fight. So the attack boost will definitely help us as you can see with Gorimondo, and then hopefully here as well.
Okay, that was a nice backup, I guess. Typically,
Yeah,
you one-shot
works.
Silly Dilla there. With the power of speed boosting and power boosts, we're actually able to just one-shot all these bosses. That's one of our new strats right there. Drill, in a casual setting, I thought was one of the most underwhelming abilities to use. But recently, we just found a really awesome strat that uses these boosts to its fullest to just one-shot bosses. It's really cool. We'll see it one more time, and hopefully I can pull it off there as well.
And it actually makes use of both the speed and attack boosts that we got, because the amount of damage, or the number of hits rather, that the drill quake attack does depends on the size of the circle you draw. And with a speed boost you can draw bigger circles.
And the whole entire goal is to try and go for skinny or ovular circles, ovals, just because it makes 3 small earthquakes, which is just enough to one-shot Silly Dilla. And then Cloverline, we're going to be fighting her once again. Should be a pretty easy and quick fight.
Pretty similar.
Not a easy and quick fight. That is
Not
very...
if we miss.
Well, we'll just have to wait a little bit here. Awkward moment right there, but that's okay. Still a fast kill.
Still got the Waddle Dee, that's the important thing.
Yes. Objective bounty right here is to do this damageless. Very important. And right here, I'm just going to do a little bit of some showing off. I actually am a blindfolded any % runner for Kirby, so this one's a pretty easy one to blindfold, but we'll go ahead and just do it. First cannon. Second cannon. Third cannon. Waiting for the button. Right side. Left side. Holding left. Holding right. Oh. Holding right. Straight. Left. Little messed up on the timing, that's fine. Holding right once again. Left. Coins. Right. Coins. Left. Nice. And so right there, that's just for showing off. This Waddle Dee right here is technically a backup Waddle Dee. It's one of the fastest Waddle Dees to get if you end up messing up the Cloverline fight. But fortunately, I don't need to get it. So we're just going to go right into the next level, which is 6-5. And so if you haven't noticed, all the past worlds, damage 1 through 5, had only 4 for showing off, but now we're going to get a 5th Waddle Dee right here is technically a backup Waddle to do this damage. And the reason why we do that is, or the reason why I think they did this is, this level that I just finished was a boss gauntlet with all the animals, and now we are going to be going into a mouthful mode gauntlet. But with some shenanigans that you saw recently in like World 4, we're going to be skipping a lot of it. Lona Woofy just chilling right there. And say hi to Kirby. Hi.
Can I get a Poyo from anyone in chat?
You can get one from me. Hoyo.
Ooh, that was a lovely Poyo. Yeah, here we go, storming the Beast Pack Stronghold. So we cleared that objective and also got Hammer, which is important because that's the surprise tool that we'll be using to skip a large portion of the stage. Or should I say, rather, 2 large portions of the stage. Here comes the first one.
Oh, did not get the second jump, but that's fine. Alright, so
normally,
go ahead.
yeah. So normally through these doors here, are subsections to this level that have different puzzles that you need to complete using the mouthful modes. Fortunately, using the hammer super jump glitch, we're able to just bounce right over the entire building and skip over to the next section. This one here is a little bit trickier though.
Looks like I managed to get it right there. And so we're skipping another mouthful roll right here, and we're gonna go for another super jump right here. Hopefully that was high enough. I feel like it wasn't. Yep, it was not high enough. That's fine. We'll just go for another one. Oh, forgot to hold B there. That's fine. Alright, that looks fine. And
That looks good.
so we should both skip this area right here. Little jank, but we'll be going right over here. Just some out of bounds shenanigans right now, and we should be in.
Sneaking on through. There we go.
Alright, nice and fast fight. So we won't be needing hammer anymore. Hammer did us justice for today, and we'll be getting back into using drill, just like how we did with Silly Dillo. And let's see, another Archmouth section. This is probably going to be our last donation moment right here. So if you want to shout out your donations right now, it's a good time.
All right, we have three donations coming in. We have a $12 donation from SCXCR that says "for real," and then we have another a anonymous $5 donation that has come in without a comment. We have a $12 donation from anonymous that says match for SCXCR, and another $5 donation from anonymous that matches our last anonymous $5 donations. So as you can see, this donation matching is happening, so please keep this up. We are at $804 so far, guys, and we can still get even more before the end of this run. Keep those donations coming in. Our bid war for the Overcooked 2 character choice has been going up. We have the shark currently in the lead with $12 and the raccoon in second place with $5. So if you want to see your favorite character, you can get those donations in. There is plenty of time still to outbid these characters. So get your donations in, especially with this matching. This is going to help a lot of kids out. So get your donations in right now and finish out strong, Bob.
Thank you, thank you. Alright. Very scary section here. This is definitely a run killer that's happened a few times. If you fall in the lava as Combi, you're definitely gonna lose a Waddle Dee, and that would just kill your run right there if you didn't grab an extra Waddle Dee as a backup. But fortunately, we were able to do it just fine here, and we'll see it right there. We're gonna see the no fall in lava. Beautiful moment right there. And that should be enough Waddle Dees for us to get into the final stretch of the game. We're going to be going through a boss gauntlet. Hopefully you can see some shenanigans, some jank, and hopefully some one-shots too. Alright, and if anyone has forgotten, we're still trying to save Elflin right now. So, this boss, we've seen him before. He's a little bit mind-controlled right now, but we'll try and break him out of it, try and see if we can save him from being mind-controlled, and afterwards, we'll try and save Elflin as best as we can. Alright, difficult strat right here. Hopefully I can do a really fast DDD fight. Another option for any first-time runners is to go for Ice here. Very consistent just because Ice is relatively strong and makes the fight very easy to do. And I messed that up already. That's fine. Fine, we'll just wait for him to go for a cycle. I ideally want DDD to be at the edge, so we'll just go for another break right here.
There, perfect.
So set it up nicely. It's a nice backup start right there. And we're gonna start drilling. And that's a fast one right there. There you go. Fast phase 2 for DDD. Mind controlled by that little hammer right there. And this time he's not dead still. As you know, DDD will never die. But he does do his last stand right here as we get swarmed by a beast pack. Unfortunately, we'll be skipping that cutscene. But he does a really great valiant moment to save all the wallabies by throwing them into the ladder, into the elevator. And throwing Kirby as well, I think. And moment of truth, this is one of the hardest run killers in the game. It's a frame perfect or a 2-frame perfect trick. And very hard to do just because this is the Leongar skip. And the moment you mess up, it's very difficult to recover from, and it's also difficult to do in the first place because this whole entire environment is laggy. So hopefully I can do this.
Oh no.
Well, that's not a good start, but it's fine.
Alright, we can still recover from this. Just gotta be careful.
Alright, still waiting a little bit here.
So what makes this trick hard to do as a second try and onwards kind of thing is Leongar will start body blocking you. It's the most consistent the first time around because he starts so far away from you and needs to approach you first. But once he gets to you, not only is he up in your face trying to attack you, but his large body also messes up your timing with the hammer as well.
Alright, we're gonna go for the safe tiles, just because it is a lot bigger to work with. There you go. Alright, nice! So we still get to see the jank here, Leongar skip. First try, it saves like 45 seconds in comparison to fighting the boss normally. And as you can see, I am in a very weird area.
So what's happening is the ceiling of this room has holes in them because he respawned.
Huh. That has never happened before. Oh, I said the thing.
Because the Leongar's at the bottom now though, so at least we get a safe retry.
Yes, so randomly there is a second platform below us, which is actually the trigger for the cutscene area. But since we are just straight up skipping it, Leongar just likes to follow us, and he's in a place he's not supposed to be in.
He likes clipping out of bounds just like we do.
Yes, and I'm trying to do this really safely right now because I do not want to mess it up again.
Oh, we came too close.
Wow, I don't know what's happening anymore. This is actually really crazy. But anyways, we'll try and go for this one.
Yeah, so the reason why there are even holes that we can go through in the ceiling is because somebody at HAL decided, hey, you know what would make this arena better? If we made actual proper collision in the ceiling rather than just box Kirby in.
Yep. And I was right there. Fortunately, there is a loading zone that is active even while you're fighting Leongar. So us being able to get there and just skipping the straight up fight is kind of amazing. This will take a little bit. So typically I have a power boost here to work with, but unfortunately, since I don't have that, this fight's going to take a little bit longer than usual. But also, look at this beautiful thing. Probably the reason why this level alone, or this game alone, is rated with a fear rating is because of probably that boss right there.
I'm gonna be real. My first casual playthrough of this game, Fecto Forgo, that thing really did legitimately terrify me.
Yeah, I would be terrified of it too, honestly. Alright, we're back to... We're on top of this tower right here. We are going to be fighting a second half of Elflin, which is going to be the evil Elfless. We're going to be fighting him with the power of ice. As you can see, ice is honestly kind of OP. Look at this. Wow. And so the reason why we use ice here, just like how we usually do it, is ice is slowing down the boss, which means I have less patterns to work with, or less patterns to deal with. And so Effect of Awfulness makes it very easy for me, just because I don't have to deal with any of his shenanigans of him jumping away. And so if I ever do this fight on any other ability, he does fly away, and that's like a lot of downtime. And that's just all RNG based right there.
It's amazing how every single part of the attack gets slowed down, even the projectiles.
Yes. And another showcase of how OP ice is.
We just have an infinitely powerful ice shield.
Yep, there you go. A huge meteor, but a block of ice is just better. Didn't do it that right, but that's okay. We don't have an attack boost anyways. Look at the shadow on the ground and you'll know which one's the real one. And right here, this is the healing portion of Elfless. So if you don't break this blue bar right here, Elfless will end up healing that portion of amount. But there is the heal skip where we can use ice to just straight up skip that phase, which does save a good amount of time. But anyways, we are in the last stretch now. Saving Elflin once again.
And of course, we do need to use the new game gimmick in the final boss.
This is going to be the most epic moment you'll ever see in your life. The momentous occasion, saving Elflin from sudden doom. Planet Popstar, just in the midst of that portal, and we're using a truck.
This is the biggest mouthful mode we've ever had. Honestly though, like, just the whole idea of final boss, let's just run it over with a truck, is hilarious to me.
Yeah, it is very weird. Let's see if I can do some jank right here. Oh, there's like a metal pipe there, that's why.
Oh, was that what you
I think that's what I landed on last time.
Previous run?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it looked like you landed on thin air and jumped again. Which I guess also begs the question. They made collision for all those tiny particles too, then.
Yeah. The attention to detail on the weirdest spots. Alright, we're gonna just drive on only our left wheels to avoid the collision frame drops right there. We're gonna do a little funny of falling off, but we do trigger the cutscene. And we are at the moment of truth. So we'll be hitting time pretty soon. I'll call it. Let's see here. We'll be seeing Elfless get hit by the truck, and that'll be the time, and I'll just call it. Button mash sequences for the epic moments. Any Dragon Ball fans out here? You're probably gonna love this right here. Go, Kirby, go!
That's not enough power.
Come on, Elflin, save us! Let's go, Kirby! Alright, time is gonna be soon. I'll be calling it. And time.
Woo! Alright, so looks like the on-stream timer is a little bit off because it got glitched up for a little bit in the middle of the run. But do we have a timer on your end?
Yes, I do have a timer. It is a 1:46:32.
Nice.
And out of habit, I did press the plus button. I'm ashamed of myself for not showing a really cool cutscene right there. But
let's give them the credit song then.
Yeah, we'll give a credit song for now. I do want to ask, how is that laboratory incentive, and am I going to be running it? Did I just say HAL laboratory? HAL room incentive. We did make it though.
This is Kirby's house in the new world that we didn't actually get to go inside and see, but he's got all these cute pictures of his memories now.
Yeah, it's really cute. You can actually customize some of the trophies in there as well. And thank you for the opportunity. I am glad to be able to support this event with Tornix here as my commentator. I really enjoyed doing this marathon run right here. I hope that everyone does some donations, try and help out the event as much as possible for all those kids out there. And honestly, just some quick shout outs as well. Y'all can follow me on twitch.tv/BombHappy or on Twitter _BombHappy as well. And other than that, some few shout outs. Cog, Dark Rider 27, Mr. Shasta. Those are some quick ones that I can think of that are a really great part of the community. We also have a lot of contributions. If you do want to join us in the Kirby Speedrunning Discord, doesn't have to be Kirby in the Forgotten Land, but we do have a Discord that you can see on the speedrunning website as well. And so if you have anything else to say in Tornix as well?
Not too much to add on that. You got the shoutouts that would come off the top of my head as well. Thank you so much, Running for Reals or Real Hope, for having me. Thank you, BombHappy, for having me as well, co-commentating your run. It's been a really fun time. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is always fun for me. Yeah, I think you've said everything that I was gonna say, yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much. Before we transition to a quick intermission, just want to read a few donations. We have a $10 donation from Dunstaff that says, good luck, hope you raise lots for those kids. And he put his money towards the Ghost for the Overcooked 2 incentive, which is still open, so get your donations in for that. You have a little bit of time before we get started with that run to get your donations in. We also have a $20 donation from Dogs4 without a comment. Thank you so much. We have a $50 donation from Hunting Wabbit that says, let's get that 10K. And so thank you so much for that donation. And we have another $20 anonymous donation. Thank you guys so much for all your donations. We are going to transition to a quick intermission screen, and then we will get our next run set up with Overcooked 2 All-Stars by Ludwig von Koopa.
Hello everybody. Hope you have a wonderful